Heartwarming discovery: how a poor girl's incredible action changed a billionaire's son's last nine. Mia stood behind the counter of the small diner, her heart racing as she served another plate of pancakes with a side of crispy bacon. The faded linoleum floor echoed laughter and conversations from the regulars. This was their sanctuary, a place where worries faded over steaming cups of coffee and shared stories. But the air felt heavy that day. Her mother, usually so vibrant and full of life, shuffled in and out of the kitchen with a pallor that spoke volumes. Mia's stomach churned with anxiety, but she tucked it away, focusing instead on the warmth around her. Every day was a struggle to keep the lights on, yet the love between Mia and her mother was a steady flame. They were a team, fighting against a world that seemed determined to push them down. The regulars were family. They shared not just meals, but dreams and heartaches. The diner was a little slice of hope in their struggling neighborhood, and Mia was its heartbeat. One evening, as the sun melted into a fiery horizon, Mia's world plunged into shadows. Her mother collapsed, frail and unresponsive under the fluorescent lights of the diner. Panic gripped Mia as she dialed for help, watching her mother being whisked away, leaving behind a haunting silence broken only by the droning of bills piling up, unpaid notices that threatened the diner itself. Jake, a newcomer to the neighborhood from a world of luxury, found himself suffocating at one of those high-class charity events. The sparkling chandeliers and ostentatious laughter felt like shackles around his wrists. His father's voice echoed in his ear, demanding perfection, while the crowd closed in. Under the weight of expectations, he slipped outside to gasp for air, colliding with the community park where Mia's friends hung out. Their first meeting was anything but graceful. He stumbled, tripped, and fell right in front of her. Mia rolled her eyes, annoyance flaring up as she dusted off his designer jacket. His indifference rubbed her wrong, but in that moment she sensed the vulnerability lurking behind his walls. When he finally cracked a shaky smile, Mia felt a small tug at her heart. "Ever try a burger from the diner?" she asked, trying to lighten the mood. To her surprise, he accepted with a reluctant nod. Slowly, laughter filled the dank air of the diner, flinging away the cobwebs of dread. Amid greasy plates and late-night chats, friendship blossomed. Mia introduced him to a fiery world of loyalty and grit, where every plate served was more than just getting by. It was about community. But a truth made their laughter uneasy, class lines drawn deep and visible. Mia's heart ached as she learned more about Jake's past, not from the million-dollar house, from the weight of invisible chains that bound him. As their journey unfolded, a shocking email from the city landed like a bombshell. New regulations threatening local businesses. The diner was on the brink, and Mia felt the despair claw at her throat. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now, let's continue. The countdown to closure sent ripples through the community. Yet, as Mia rallied her neighbors, Jake grappled with an internal storm. Could he cross the divide? Could he stand with Mia, embracing all that he had been taught to avoid? As the diner prepared for one last push, a flicker of rebellion sparked in the air. Would Jake choose to fight for a world worth cherishing, to defy the legacy that had shackled him? Or would he fade back into the shadows of privilege, leaving Mia and the diner to face their darkest hour alone? In that crucial moment, every heartbeat paused, and the fate of their intertwined lives hung in the balance. Mia stared at the empty diner, the thick silence pressing in on her like a heavy fog. Tables that once buzzed with laughter now stood lifeless, their surfaces grimy with crumbs of yesterday's breakfasts. She swept the floor mindlessly, her mind racing with thoughts of what awaited her at day's end. Jake had promised to come. They'd brainstormed ways to rally the community, but now doubt crept in like a moth in the shadows. The bell above the door rang, a familiar sound that usually brought a flutter of hope. But today, it was just Jake. his handsome face cast in lines of worry. He walked in without his usual spring and headed straight for the counter where Mia was attempting to polish the silverware. "Mia," he began, his voice low and serious, "I've been thinking." "What's the plan?" she cut in, wanting to pull him from the chasm of uncertainty. "We need a fundraiser or something to save the diner. The community wants this place." "I know." He shifted on his feet, avoiding her gaze. "But my dad has already pulled strings. He might have another offer for the land. She flinched. Every word that left his lips felt like nails against her skin. "You mean the land is already up for grabs? You're not going to back out after all we fought for?" "That's not what I meant," Jake exclaimed, frustration springing to life. "You don't know how hard it is for me. I want to help, but I'm also torn. I've been raised to follow a certain path, and now I'm standing at a crossroads." Mia's heart sank. Wasn't that the story of so many in their neighborhood? Finding the bravery to fight for what mattered, yet having to confront the daunting push from a world that didn't honor those struggles. "Every day you see people come in here who have real fights," Mia said, trying to steady her voice. "My mom, the regulars, they depend on this place. We need you in this fight, Jake, not just for a burger or two, but for lives." Jake shifted, uncertainty clouding his expression. "I just wish it were that simple." "It can be simple," she declared, the words bursting forth like a dam breaking. "You came into my life, and suddenly I had someone to lean on, to be brave with. I need that from you now more than ever. We can run this place together and help everyone here." Just then, Mrs. Johnson, their elderly regular with glasses perched low on her nose, commented from her usual corner booth. "You've got this, dear. Strength comes from the most unexpected places." Mia felt a twinge of hope, a flicker of inspiration. "Let's have a community cook-off," Mia suggested, catching Jake's eye. "We can promote it, make it fun. Local bands, food contests, we rally everyone." Jake's brow furrowed in thought. "And get the media involved?" "Yes," her voice was growing stronger. "The diner could gain enough publicity. If people see what this place means to them, maybe the city will back off." His lip quirked with a nascent smile as he nodded. "Okay, Mia, let's do it. Together." Mia felt that flicker of rebellion igniting again, this time brighter and more fierce. She could feel the diner humming with potential, the energy shifting. Maybe they could pull it off, but every part of her being warned this wouldn't be easy. As they settled on plans, the shadow of her mother's absence lingered at the edge of her mind. Mia glanced down at her hands, rough from work yet strong, and took a deep breath. But in that moment, just as determination filled the room, another crushing blow arrived. Another email notification blinked ominously on her phone screen. A new regulation proposal just dropped, threatening even more than before, a fight that was only beginning. "Jake," she whispered, dread creeping back into her chest. "What if we lose everything?" His reassuring grip on her shoulder grounded her as she searched his eyes for the same strength she needed. "We won't lose, Mia, not if we can help it." But would that be enough as the storm brewed on the horizon? Would their newfound alliance be strong enough to weather the impending turmoil? As they prepared for the fight of their lives, one question remained. How far would they truly go to protect their hearts, their home, and each other? Mia took a moment to collect her breath. The weight of Jake's words settled heavily in the air between them, mixing with the looming threat of their diner's uncertain future. She glanced back at her phone, her heart racing. As she read the email, new regulations, stricter codes. It felt as if someone was tightening a noose around their dreams. "Come on," Mia said, shaking her head to dispel the dread. "Let's focus on the cook-off. It's our shot to rally everyone together. If we can get the whole town behind us, we can make them see how much this diner means." "Right," Jake said, pulling himself together. We'll need a plan. Flyers, social media, maybe even reaching out to the local news. Mia felt the spark of excitement at the thought of getting the community involved. And what about donations? Local businesses could sponsor us. We could turn this into something big. Jake dropped onto a stool, a hint of inspiration flickering in his expression. We could have a competition for the best burger, best dessert, even a pie-eating contest. People love that stuff. Mrs. Johnson, still in her booth, perked up. And local bands. The more noise, the better, dear. If folks hear music, they'll come running. Mia nodded, her heart swelling with renewed hope. Yes, live music will pull in the crowds. We could even include local artisans, handmade crafts, photo booths. It could be a whole event. As they hammered out ideas, energy flowed back into the diner, each suggestion adding a layer to the plan. They wrote things down, laughing and brainstorming as the weight of the world slowly began to lift. Just then, the door swung open. A group of regulars shuffled in, their routine undeterred by the muck of lingering shadows that had threatened to silence their gathering place. The familiar voices, mingling with banter and laughter, brought warmth back to Mia's heart. "Hey, what's the commotion about?" Tom, a burly mechanic, asked, his greasy hands resting on the countertop. Mia glanced at Jake before speaking. "We're planning a community cook-off to save the diner." The folks around the counter perked up, exchanging glances, a mirage of excitement brewing in their expressions. "I'm in," shouted Linda, a school teacher. "Count me for a pie for the contest, and I'll bring my kids. Gotta teach them how to eat, right?" "The band and I would love to play," Tom declared, enthusiasm surging through his jubilant tone. Mia felt the stirrings of something beautiful as faces lit up with possibility. This wasn't just about saving a diner anymore. It was about community, about coming together to fight for something they all loved. The heaviness that had once lingered lifted, replaced by a glimmer of hope. As hours melted away, they worked tirelessly, spreading news, creating flyers, and setting up the contest rules. The diner buzzed again, not just from the clink of silverware and plates, but from the sounds of laughter and plans being made. But as twilight painted the sky, the email notification popped up again, drawing Mia's gaze back to her phone. Another regulation proposal, stricter codes, even tougher measures against small businesses. She felt a knot twist in her stomach. They were being cornered on all sides. "Mia?" Jake's voice cut through her thoughts. "What's wrong?" She looked up, emotions spilling over. "What if the cook-off isn't even enough? What if they shut us down before we get a chance?" Jake's expression softened, the energy shifting once more as he crossed the diner floor to her side. "If we don't try, we've already lost. But if we do this together, we've got a fighting chance, right?" Mia took a shaky breath, determination flooding back through her veins. "You're right, and even if we stumble, we'll do it together." Just as the wave of solidarity washed over them, the ground shifted beneath their feet. The diner doors burst open again, this time revealing a figure Mia hadn't expected. Her estranged father, eyes filled with remorse, standing at the threshold. "Mia," he started, his voice faltering. Everything within her froze. How could he be here now? What would this mean for the fight they had ahead? Mia's heart raced as she stared at the man who had caused her so much pain over the years. The familiar ache of betrayal swelled inside her, mixing with confusion. Her father had left when she was just a child, leaving her with nothing but unanswered questions and a heavy heart. The diner had become her sanctuary, a place where she could forge her own path. Now here he was, interrupting the fragile momentum she had built around the cook-off. "Mia," he said again, taking a cautious step forward. "Why now?" she demanded, her voice tinged with hurt. "After all these years, why are you here?" He glanced at the diner, taking in the happy chaos around them, the laughter, the plan brewing among friends, and the unmistakable spirit of their small community. "I heard about the diner. I know about the regulations. I'm here to help." "Help?" Mia scoffed, crossing her arms.
You left us. I built this place with my sweat and tears." Her anger flooded the space between them. The warmth of the diner seemed to evaporate, replaced by the icy tension that had defined her relationship with him for so long. She couldn't allow herself to show weakness, not now, not when they were fighting for their dreams. "I know I messed up," he admitted, his voice cracking. "I regret leaving, but I want to make things right. I want to help save this diner, your diner." Jake stepped in between them, sensing the rising storm. "No offense, sir, but what can you do now that you couldn't do before? It's a little late for apologies." Mia felt a mix of relief and gratitude as she watched Jake defend her. He had become a source of strength when she felt lost. But her father's face hardened at Jake's words. "I may have connections," he said, straightening up. "Reaching out to some influential people in town could help you with these new regulations. I spent years trying to find my path. Now I want to help you."
"Find yours." Mia felt the slight crack in her heart as hope wavered. Could she trust him? The diner was too important. The fight to save it meant everything, and she couldn't risk being let down again. "Why should I believe you?" she asked, bitterness bubbling in her throat. "You choosing to show up now, it feels like a bad joke." "Because I want to change," he responded, his voice steady but laced with a vulnerability she hadn't expected. "You have your mother's spirit. You're a fighter. I admire that. All I'm asking for is a chance." Mia looked around the diner, at the laughter, at the community rallying behind them. This was her family. This was where she belonged. She felt torn, her mind battling her heart. Could her father be telling the truth? As silence enveloped them, Mrs. Johnson quietly approached, an understanding gaze on her face. "Honey, sometimes it's the fear of being vulnerable that keeps us from letting others in. But look at what you're building here. Don't shut the door completely, just because it's a risk." Her words weighed heavily in the air. Mia felt the room spin as she battled between her anger and the flickering hope of a reconciled relationship. Maybe, just maybe, her father could provide the help they needed. "Mia, it's your choice," Jake said softly, but his eyes held concern. "Just be careful." Her breath hitched, emotions swirling wildly inside her. "What if this is what we need?" a small voice in her head whispered. "Maybe he really can help." But before she could respond, the diner door swung open once more. This time, it was the mayor, a man known for his tough stance on local regulations. "I heard there's a cook-off brewing," he called, his thin lips forming a smirk. "You all better be ready. Rumor has it rules will change, and I'm not sure I'll be making this easy." Mia's heart sank. The fight was far from over, and suddenly the stakes felt even higher. Could they face this new challenge? Could she really trust her father's desire for redemption? "Let's figure this out," she said, looking at Jake and her father as uncertainty clouded her eyes. "I can't do this alone." The night hung heavy with possibility. A glimmer of hope wavered, and just like that, uncertainty tugged at once more. But what if this old wound became the key to the future? Mia's heart drummed in her chest as the mayor's words loomed over her. The air shifted, charged with an uneasy tension. For a moment, the bustling diner grew quiet. The laughter faded, replaced by whispers and cautious glances. No one wanted to confront the mayor of their small town, especially not when he wore that smug look on his face. "Mia," Jake said, breaking the silence, "what does he mean by the rules changing?" "Nothing good," Mia murmured, frustration bubbling inside her. "He's always playing hardball, especially when he wants to shake things up." Her father was still there, watching, waiting for her to make a decision. It felt like the world was closing in on her. The diners around her were more than customers. They were a community that had rallied around her and the diner. She owed it to them to protect what they had built. "Let's talk to him,"
Jake suggested, stepping forward. He seemed more resilient than before, a shield against the uncertainty that clung to the moment. We need to know what we're dealing with to fight back. Are you sure about that? Mia hesitated, glancing at her father. She feared her decision would not only affect her, but everyone who had invested their faith in her and this diner. Look, I don't like him either, but we can't just sit here and hope for the best, Jake replied, determination lining his voice. We need a plan. Besides, if he's serious, he could bury us with new rules if we're not prepared. Mia took a steadying breath. The clock was ticking, and they couldn't afford to waste any time. Okay, let's go. As they approached the mayor, Mia's heart raced with a mix of anger and defiance. There was a tightness in her throat, a spark of frustration igniting her spirit. The mayor stood with an air of authority, arms crossed, smugness etched into his features. Well, well, if it isn't the rising star of the diner world, he said, feigning casualness. You must be feeling quite proud, huh? All this hubbub about a cook-off, but let's get real. Rules are changing, and not everyone's going to survive this new era. Mia clenched her fists at her sides, trying to suppress her seething anger. You can't just change the rules because you feel like it. This diner means everything to us. It's been the heart of this community. No one is exempt from the rules, Mia, he replied coolly, a glimmer of amusement flickering in his eyes. But I have to say, your father's got some useful connections in town. Funny how life works, isn't it? Mia shot a glance at her dad, who was watching silently. The man she had pushed away now seemed like a wild card they might need. Are you saying you'll go easy on us because of my father? She snapped. Not exactly, he responded, leaning against the counter. More like I'll make sure you stay informed about the new regulations, if your father sweetens the deal a bit. Jake turned to Mia, confusion and anger crossing his face. You can't be serious. Are you considering this? Mia felt trapped. Could she really trust her father enough to engage in this dangerous game? But at that moment, another realization washed over her. If there was a chance to save the diner, she had to take it. With her heart pounding, she met her father's gaze. You want redemption, right? Then can we work together to fight this? No more secrets. Her father's expression softened. A flicker of something resembling hope passed between them. Yes, he replied simply, and for the first time, Mia felt a small glimmer that maybe, just maybe, they could build something meaningful together. As they stepped away from the mayor, Mia knew the road ahead would be rocky, but with every heartbeat, she felt something begin to shift. Let's do this, she said, determination flooding her voice. But as she turned to leave, a new thought flickered at the edge of her mind. Would their attempts at redemption only lead to deeper hurt? And what would it take to turn this new partnership into something lasting? The battle was just beginning. Mia stepped out of the diner, the chill of the evening hitting her like a wave. Her heart was still racing, the aftermath of her encounter with the mayor swirling in her mind. It was going to be tough. She glanced at Jake, who walked beside her, his brow furrowed in thought. They both knew they had crossed a line, but it felt like they were left with few choices. Do you really think your dad will come through? Jake asked, his voice low. The hope in his question was guarded. I don't know, Mia admitted, the weight of uncertainty heavy in her chest. But if he wants to make things right, this is our chance. Or mine, to be honest. Jake shook his head slightly, unsure of how to comfort her. I get that. But it's risky. Who knows what the mayor's planning? The streets were quiet now, shadows creeping in as the sun set. Mia pushed open a door to her father's old office, a tiny, dim space filled with files and old pictures on the walls. She could see her childhood, frozen in time, but it felt bittersweet now. Dad, she called, her voice echoing softly in the room. He emerged from behind a stack of papers, a mixture of apprehension and anticipation written on his face. "Let's talk," she said, gesturing to the small table in the corner. "We need to be on the same page." Her father nodded, and they sat down across from each other. The silence between them felt like an ocean, deep and uncharted. "About the mayor, I'm not going to pretend I have all the answers," he started, hesitantly. "But if we want to keep the diner open, we'll need to work together." Mia's heart raced again. This was the conversation she'd longed for, yet feared too. "What does that mean? What kind of deal are we looking at?" He hesitated. "Look, I have old connections, but they come with terms. It could get messy." "I don't care about the mess," she snapped, the desperation pushing her voice higher. "I just want to know what we're dealing with." He sighed, running a hand through his hair. "I haven't been around to protect you. I made mistakes, and I don't expect you to trust me after everything. But if we're doing this, it
Has to be all in. No more hiding, no more secrets. Mia could see the sincerity in his eyes, but she felt a flicker of doubt. What if he betrayed her again? What if he was still the man she'd learned to distrust? "Okay," she said finally, swallowing hard. "But it has to start now. Let's figure out how we can outsmart the mayor." A small smile broke through her father's serious demeanor. "I think I know a few people who might be willing to help. Friends in higher places." With that, Mia's fear began to morph into determination. They could really fight for the diner, for each other. When they stepped back outside, the cool air felt different, as if a fresh start had emerged. Jake was waiting, concern in his eyes, but Mia was ready to share the new plan. They would have to stand together if they wanted a shot. Suddenly, Mia's phone buzzed in her pocket. She pulled it out, glancing at the name on the screen. It was the mayor's office. Her stomach lurched. "What is it?" Jake asked, sensing her tension. "It's a call from the mayor's office," she said, heart racing again. What could he want now? "Answer it," Jake urged, his voice steady. Taking a deep breath, Mia pressed the phone to her ear as she recalled the mayor's disdainful smile. "Hello?" "Ah, Mia, I thought we could discuss a few terms before things get complicated." His tone was slick, invasive. A shiver ran down her spine. What did he want from her this time? Maybe the battle for the diner was about to get even more intense than she realized. And with that thought, Mia felt the stakes rising higher than ever. Mia's breath caught in her throat. The mayor's voice oozed with that familiar mix of charm and deceit. "Terms?" she echoed, her heart pounding. "What kind of terms?" "Oh, just a simple conversation," the mayor replied. "You know, a little give and take. You've got something I want, and I believe I can help you keep your diner if you come to my office tomorrow." "Help?" Mia scoffed, feeling a flare of anger. "You call it help, I call it extortion. What do you want?" "There's no need to be rude, Mia. I just want to have a chat about possibilities." "Or terms. You want something in return." There was a pause on the line. "It's all about partnerships, Mia. Think of it like a business arrangement. You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours." Mia's mind raced. She could visualize the diner, her family's legacy wrapped in the warmth of shared meals, laughter, and love. But could she trust her father? And could she believe the mayor? "I'll think about it," she said, trying to maintain control. "But I won't be bullied." She hung up, adrenaline coursing through her veins. "What did he say?" Jake asked, eyes eager yet cautious. Mia shook her head, anxiety bubbling up. "He wants to meet." "To discuss? Possibilities? It sounds more like a threat than a deal," she confessed, uncertainty knitting her brow. Jake stepped closer, placing a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "You've got the right people with you now. You and your dad will figure something out." His faith in her was a flicker of hope amidst all that confusion. She nodded,
trying to hold on to that feeling. Yet, as they walked back toward the diner, every optimistic thought was shadowed by the weight of the mayor's words. Partnerships? What would that mean for her father? Would he compromise who he was? Once they arrived at the diner, its glowing neon sign flickering against the backdrop of the darkening sky, Mia's heart sank. Okay, let's do this. We need to prepare for tomorrow, Mia declared, flipping on the warm lights inside. The familiar smell of coffee lingered in the air, inviting, almost comforting. Jake pulled up a chair, scribbling notes as Mia paced back and forth. We should come up with a counteroffer, something that gives us an edge, he suggested, looking serious. An edge? She echoed, the gears in her mind starting to turn. Yeah, something that puts us in the driver's seat. You might have leverage if the diner's more valuable than he thinks. For a moment, Mia held on to that idea. What if we make it a community hub, something the town can't lose? That's brilliant, Jake's eyes lit up. The more community support you have, the harder it will be for him to make moves against you. Fueled with newfound energy, Mia grabbed some paper and began writing a plan. They'd need to rally support, create a petition, host events. They couldn't just roll over. They had to fight back. The clock ticked on, their brainstorming filling the air with excitement and purpose. They lost track of time, but with each word and idea, Mia felt lighter. This wasn't just about her anymore. It was about everyone who walked through those diner doors. Eventually, the chatter faded, and silence fell. Mia leaned back in her chair, feeling exhausted but alive. Her father's voice echoed in her head, reminding her of the strength that came from vulnerability. But what would tomorrow bring? The prospect of facing the mayor made her stomach twist again, this time with fear. Ready for the big day? Jake asked, his tone hopeful yet tinged with apprehension. Mia took a deep breath. As ready as I'll ever be, she whispered, the thought of betrayal creeping back. I just hope I'm not walking into a trap. And just as they were about to leave, Mia's phone buzzed once more. Another message from the mayor. What now? Her heart raced, anxiety twisting in her stomach again. Looks like we may have a bigger fight ahead than we thought. Mia hesitated, her finger hovering over the phone screen. The message from the mayor appeared ominously, the little notification brightening the dimly lit diner. She took a deep breath before opening it.
Feeling Jake's eyes on her, a mixture of concern and curiosity, the message read, I'm looking forward to our meeting tomorrow. Be prepared to explore what I can do for you. Meet me at noon sharp. Great, just what I needed. A literal deadline, Mia muttered, tossing the phone onto the table. What does he mean by what I can do for you? Sounds more like threats wrapped in pretty words, Jake said, furrowing his brow. Exactly. It's like he thinks he's doing me a favor by meeting. How can I believe anything he says? I mean, look at the situation. He wants my diner, and he's making it clear he thinks the only way I can keep it is by playing his game. Jake nodded solemnly. But it's also an opportunity. If you play your cards right, you could turn this around. Right. But her heart was heavy. She felt the weight of the diner on her shoulders, the history of it all pushing down on her. What would her father do? Would he want her to take the deal? Would he even want her to fight it? Mia stared out the window at the lonely street lamp, lighting a small patch of the sidewalk outside. A couple of regulars passed, laughing, waving at her through the glass. Love and community, that was what the diner was all about. Jake followed her gaze, taking in the scene. You need to remind yourself of that tomorrow. Whatever tricks the mayor might try to pull, this diner belongs to the people, and to you. She smiled slightly, grateful for Jake's support, but the knot in her stomach remained. But what if I risk losing it all? Then you'll have to be brave. Show him what this place means to everyone. You're not just fighting for a building, Mia. You're fighting for memories, for a future. It's about more than just you. His words ignited a spark of determination inside her. Yes, this was bigger than her. She needed to stand up, not just for herself, but for everyone who found solace in the diner's warmth. Hours passed as they wrapped up their plans, the diner slowly emptying of evening diners. When the last table was cleared, Mia felt a mix of exhaustion and resolve. They had a solid plan, but the thought of facing the mayor loomed ominously over her. As Jake stood to leave, he turned to her, a sincere look on his face. "Whatever happens tomorrow, Mia, just remember, you're not alone in this. We're all behind you." "Thanks, Jake." She grasped his hand tightly, and for a moment she felt the surge of hope washing over her. "I really needed to hear that. Of course, just be yourself. Don't let him intimidate you. You're stronger than you think." After a brief hug, Jake stepped outside, leaving Mia with her thoughts. She'd never felt so much pressure, yet there was a sense that her fight might mean more. As she twisted the light off, the atmosphere shifted and a chill crept in. She glanced around the diner once more. It was alive with memories, her family's laughter echoing in her mind. But it was also a battleground now, a place that could either rise and thrive or fall at the hands of greed. Just before locking the door, her phone buzzed again. Another message from the mayor. This time it read, "Don't forget our meeting is about more than just business. It's personal." Mia's heart raced. What did he mean by that? She could almost feel the weight of his words pressing against her chest. Tomorrow would not just be a confrontation, it would be a reckoning. What was the mayor planning? And could Mia face whatever awaited her with courage? Mia woke to the sound of her heart pounding in her chest. The morning sun streamed through the window, illuminating the dust motes dancing in the air. She lay still for a moment, the weight of what lay ahead pressing down on her like a heavy blanket. Today was the day. With newfound determination, she pushed herself out of bed. The familiar smell of coffee filled her tiny kitchen, intermingling with the sweet scent of pastries left over from last night's shift. They'd always been a comfort, reminding her of home and happier times. She poured herself a cup, savoring the warmth as she watched the world outside her window awaken. As Mia dressed, she replayed Jake's words in her mind. "You're stronger than you think." She drew a breath, willing the flutter of nerves in her stomach to settle. She needed to channel that strength today, to transform anxiety into a steady focus. By the time she arrived at the diner, her mind was racing with a mix of hope and dread. The familiar sound of the cafe bell chimed as she opened the door, and she glanced around, noting the few early risers already nestled in their booths. The diner felt like home, and that thought both comforted and terrified her. She spent the morning preparing, polishing the countertops, brewing fresh coffee, and making sure everything looked perfect. The diner was her father's legacy, the very essence of warmth and community emanated from its walls. This wouldn't just be a fight for her, it was about preserving the memories etched into the very fabric of this place. As the clock crept closer to noon, time felt like it was both speeding up and slowing down. Mia wiped her clammy hands on her apron. Jake left her a couple of supportive messages, reminding her she wasn't alone, and the thought brought her a sliver of comfort. A little before noon, she stepped outside, hoping the fresh air would clear her mind. The streets pulsed with life, but her heart felt detached, only thinking about the confrontation ahead. When she saw the mayor's car pull up, a wave of anxiety washed over her. With one last deep breath, Mia stepped forward as he exited the vehicle. He wore a confident smile, but it only deepened her unease. He approached her, hand outstretched, a glimmer of something unreadable in his eyes. "Good to see you, Mia," he said, his voice smooth, almost charming. "Ready for our chat?" She nodded, tightly gripping her purse, her heart hammering. "Yes, let's get to it." Inside the diner, the atmosphere shifted. As they settled into a booth, the quiet hum of conversation and the clinking of dishes surrounded them, yet they felt like they were in their own world. "I appreciate you taking the time," he began, folding his hands in a practiced way. "I think we can come to a mutually beneficial arrangement." Mia leaned forward, a mix of determination and bravado surfacing. "I'm not here to negotiate what you want. I want to defend my diner and everything it stands for." His eyebrows raised slightly, surprise flickering across his face.
You have spirit, Mia. I admire that. But this place, it's in the way of progress. Progress, she shot back, her voice stronger than she'd expected. What you call progress may destroy everything this diner means to us. The mayor smirked, leaning back as if evaluating her, pleased yet challenged by her defiance. Very well, let me show you what I can do for you beyond what you have imagined. Mia's world shifted. She could feel the stakes rising. What plans did he have? Behind that charming demeanor, did he hold secrets that could unravel her fight before it even began? As he spoke, revealing his proposals, Mia's heart raced. Could he truly make her an offer she couldn't refuse, or would he try to manipulate her vulnerable position? Just as she thought she grasped the situation, he leaned in closer, voice low and urgent. Let's talk about your father's legacy. The words hung heavy in the air, and every fiber of Mia's being jolted at the mention of her father. What did he know? What hidden truths were tangled under layers of business and betrayal? This wasn't just about a diner anymore. This was about her past, her family, and everything that had shaped who she was. She steeled herself. Whatever he was planning, she'd have to fight with every ounce of strength she had. Let's hear it, Mia replied, her voice steady, revealing nothing. And just like that, the battle for her diner turned into a deeper personal reckoning than she had ever expected. What awaited her as the mayor revealed his hand? Would she crumble under the weight of his words, or could she find a way to turn the tide in her favor? Mia sat across from the mayor, her heart pounding, as the weight of his words sank in. Let's talk about your father's legacy. The moment felt electric, as if the very air in the diner pulsed with tension. She had braced herself for anything, or so she thought. What do you mean? She asked, forcing herself.
The mayor shifted, an unsettling smile flitting across his lips. You see, Mia, your father used to be quite a well-known figure in business circles. He had big plans for this town, but then he disappeared. He leaned closer, as if sharing a tantalizing secret. I can help you reclaim that legacy, or I could bury it for good. A chill ran down her spine. Her father? Known? She had always thought of him as a ghost, a distant figure who abandoned her. What are you saying? She breathed, anger and confusion swirling in her. I have connections, he replied, his tone silky smooth. If you play your cards right, I could help re-establish your family's name. We could turn this diner into something more, a true pillar of the community, and you could have the backing of influential people. Mia's mind raced. The offer sounded tempting, but at what cost? And what do you want in return? She replied, challenging his intentions. He leaned back, a self-satisfied gleam in his eyes. Just a little favor, some influence, perhaps a change in how the regulations are applied. Nothing that would hurt your diner, unless you choose to decline my help. Her heart sank. Was she truly considering this? Help rooted in dubious motives felt like a trap, and the stakes were too high. I can't just turn my back on my community, she countered, gritting her teeth. Ah, but think about it, he said, a sly smile creeping onto his face. With the right resources, you can ensure that your regulars and the people in this town don't just survive. Don't you want to see your father's name respected again? You'd be the one to restore that. The thought lodged like a stone in her throat. Restoring her father's name felt like opening a wound. He had left, and she had fought her way through life without him. The veneer of their family history was tarnished, and now it threatened to swallow her whole.
But Jake's voice echoed in her mind. You're fighting for memories, for a future. Could she forge a path ahead that wasn't dictated by the mayor's terms? As Mia sat, basing her thoughts in the heavy silence, doubt began to dissipate. No, she said, voice resolute. I refuse to trade my integrity for a name. This diner and my bonds with this community are more than just a business model. They're my life. I won't let you pit me against my own people. The mayor's expression shifted, surprise morphing into anger. You'll regret this decision. You think standing up to me will save you? All I'm offering is a chance. She felt a rush of adrenaline. You're offering a weight I refuse to carry. This diner is built on hard work and community love, not political games. At that moment, a wall behind her shattered. The regulars, drawn by the tense exchange, had crowded closer, shoulders squared in solidarity. Their presence bolstered her spirits, and
an electric current coursed through the diner. Mrs. Johnson stepped forward, voice steady. This place is built on our dreams, not the whims of a man who doesn't understand us. Together we thrive, but never under someone else's terms. Mia looked at the faces gathered, friends, family, community, and felt a swell of hope. We've all fought too hard to let someone like you take that away, she added fiercely, locking eyes with the mayor. His demeanor shifted, and with it, the tension in the room thickened. Very well, Mia, you've made your choice. I'll be in touch, he grumbled, turning on his heel and leaving with a storm brewing in his wake. As the door swung shut behind him, the room erupted. Laughter, cheers, and hugs wrapped around her like a warm blanket. Jake stood beside her, his pride radiating. That was incredible, he said, joy plastered on his face. You stood your ground. Fighting tears of relief and happiness, Mia blinked wide. I didn't know if I could. You can do this, Mia. This diner is a part of you, just like it is to everyone else here. As the warmth and faith surged around her, she felt the spirit of her mother in every moment, her unwavering strength echoing in her mind. Silence fell as Mia raised her hands. We're going to need all of you. We'll rally together, create petitions, and make this town see just how much this diner matters. A cheer erupted, voices mingling in an overwhelming symphony. Her heart brimmed with gratitude and resolve, and for the first time she glimpsed the future, one built on camaraderie, not compromise. In the days that followed, Mia poured her heart into organizing the community, leading meetings, and sharing stories that painted the diner as a cherished cornerstone. The cook-off became a celebration, not just of food, but of dreams and aspirations, a place where love flourished and families grew stronger. And as they worked tirelessly, old wounds started to fade, opening doors for healing. Even her father, under a new understanding, became a bridge to connections she never knew existed. They began to rebuild their relationship, slowly, reflecting the slow, steady growth of the diner in its communal resurgence. When the cook-off dawned brightly, the sun shining down and music filling the air with joy and laughter, Mia stood amidst the bustling crowd. She felt whole, and the diner felt alive. With laughter echoing around her, she realized something profound. True healing starts when we choose community over isolation, generosity over greed. Together they won the fight, forged connections, and transformed hearts. As night fell, fireworks burst overhead, mirroring the spark ignited in her spirit. Mia breathed deeply, a smile dancing on her lips. Finally, proud of the fight they had fought and the home they had built together. This place, her diner, was a home, filled with flavor, laughter, and the intricate tapestry of lives intertwined. It would carry on, forever a testament to love's resilience. The end. of the chapter was just the beginning of countless stories yet to unfold, all within that cherished diner, where families gathered, strangers became friends, and dreams turned into reality. Now, if you want to join the journey and never miss a moment of the magic happening here, you need to subscribe now. Don't wait, not even one more second. Hit that bell to stay notified about our upcoming exclusive stories. Leave a like right now for the algorithm to thrive, and let us know your thoughts and feelings about this journey in the comments below. And one last thing, share this video immediately with at least 5 friends who need to see this incredible transformation. Only true fans understand the importance of supporting the channel through these actions. Don't miss out.